Okay, so now we're moving on to even number smoothing. So even number mean smoothing is you will always actually have two steps, like two processes, and you have that what we call the second step is the centering. Okay, so it's all with all even numbers. So if you think about it, they could ask you 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. It doesn't they're not, hopefully don't go too far more than that, but because it would take forever. But let's have a look. So with two mean, because you're doing two mean, so we come up to smooth the data. So say we've got this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So when we're doing two mean, you take the first two. So we took the first two numbers and we added them together and divided by 2. So there's the mean of the first two numbers. Then you get the next set of 2. So you take Tuesday and Wednesday and you add them together and you get the mean of those two now, your values. So then what you do to get the centering is you add these two new ones, the two mean values, you add them together and you divide by 2 and you get this. Now, because this would be the first two mean smooth data of this set, so you can see you lost the first one and you'd start on Tuesday. So this is Tuesday's two mean smooth data with centering, but just say smooth data, that's fine. So the centering process, you will always divide by 2, yeah, because you'll have two values. The middle process, it will depend on how many numbers you're adding together, which would be an even number. So with 2, we're adding 2. With 4, we're adding 4. So let's have a look. And as I said, they do a lot of these ones. They're just going to ask you to do a one-off number. So if we have a look here at this, we've got the temperatures again, and they're asking me to do a two mean smoothing value for Tuesday. So what I often do is, I know I've got to do 2 sets because I've got 2 mean. So I do the circle. So I go for the day that I've been asked, and then I do one before because it's 2. So then I've got 18.1 plus 24.8, and then I divide it by 2, and that gives me this 21.45. And then what I do is I like to then maybe I do a different symbol. I'll go, all right, I'm going to square around Tuesday, and then I have to do one above it as well. So I take, because I'm doing 2, so 24.8 plus 26.4 divide by 2 equals 25.6. Okay, so these are the two mean smoothing values. And then to do the centering, so now this part is the centering in black. So I would add those two numbers together and I would divide by 2, and I end up with 23.525. Try not to round, just write the full number. They're generally, they don't keep reoccurring. It generally is nice numbers. All right, so that's the Tuesday. That's with centering. Now, let's have a look. We've got a table of a whole set of data. So just to show you, let's go through it. So if I was smoothing this data for two mean, I'd add the 10 and the 12. So 10 plus 12, and I divide it by 2, and I get 11. And then you would be doing the next two, which is 12 plus 6, and I divide by 2, would it equal 9. And then the centering part is you add those two, 11 plus 9 divided by 2, and it equals 10. Now, it's the first one, 10 is for February. So if we were graphing that, January will get lost because we're doing two mean. So there's no data before January. So we would start. And you would keep on going. Now, if I was doing, I'm going to show you, like if we were doing the last bit here. So we would have 10 plus 8 divided by 2 equals 9. And then if I had 8 plus 15 divided by 2 equals 11.5. Now, if I centered those two and divided by 2, we get 10.25, and that would be November's. The number in the middle is the smooth data. Okay, so that's November. So say, for example, just to help you out, if I had to do June, I'd go one before and one after. So it'd be 22 plus 18 divided by 2 equals 20. And then if I had 18 plus 13 divided by 2 equals 15.5, then you add those two and you divide by 2, which would be, what would that be? 35, so 17.75. No? Yeah, I reckon that would be it. And that would be June's. Okay? So I'm not going to do them all, but that's just to show you how you can just do it like that. Sometimes they might put the data in columns like that. Sometimes they might have it in rows like this. So let's have a look here. We're going to do examples of 4 and 6 because obviously, as I said, it's only the centering part is always 2, but the first part you may divide by different numbers. So let's have a look. So A asking me do a 4 mean smooth point for Thursday. So when I go there and I'm going to pick, I want Thursday. One set of 4 is going to be where I go 2 below and 1 above it. So that's what I'll have. So I'd have 24.8 plus 26.4 plus 13.9 plus 12.7. And I want to get the mean of that number. So I'd divide by 4 because there's 4 numbers there. And that would be 19.45. Now, if I want to get the next set of 4, next set of 4 would be where I only go 1 below it and 2 above it. So I've done it in green there. So I've got 26.4 plus 13.9 plus 12.7 plus 14.2. And I divide it by 4 and I get 16.8. So once you've got those two, then we do the centering. And the centering is always you just add the 2 together and divide by 2. So this was for Thursday. So 18.125 was for Thursday. So here, if you want to write a note, so for 4 mean, I chose one set was where I went 2 below, 1 above. And the second set was 1 below and 2 above. Okay, that was when we had 4 mean. Okay, now we're going to give 6 a go. 6 mean smoothing. So I will, I'm just going to rub out my thing so that we can do that again. So we're going to go 6 mean. So it wants it for Thursday again. So 6 mean is I'm going to choose 3 below the first time. So 6 would be 1, 2, and 3. And just 2 above. So that's my first set. So if I write that out, 18.1 plus 24.8 plus 26.4 plus 13.9 plus 12.7 plus 14.2, and then I divide by 6 and I get 18.35. And then on your second one, on the green one, we So you got Thursday. This second option, I'm only going to go 2 below, and then I'll go 3 above it. Okay, so I'd have 24.8 plus 26.4. So when you're doing it on your calculator, I would suggest you just go up and copy the equation before, and then just change the first value, because that's the only one that's different, and change it to the last one, if you get what I mean. So you're not typing it all out again. Okay, so there's the 2, and then we would center that by adding those 2 together and divide by 2, because centering's only divide by 2, and then we got 18.92. So that's that one. All right, so here's a little summary of if you had it in the columns and how we would be doing for mean. And so you can see the first one they took, the first for mean value ends up being on March. So you can see when you do for mean smoothing, you lose the first 2. And you'll also lose the last 2. Okay? And you will also see, like when you do 6, if we do, you're going to lose more as well. So with you have 6, you are going to, if you have a look here, when we did 6, Thursday was the last one we could do for 6. So you can see with 6, we would lose 3, and from the start and from the end, okay? And then if we had 8, we'd lose 4, okay? So just so you know, if you wanted to write a little note, because sometimes they just bring it up in a multi-choice. So say 6 mean smoothing with centering. You lose first 3 and last 3 data points.